Yo, what's happening, people? Back again with another stream. This one I'm going to enjoy. Um, as I said, don't forget to smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is GavGoesIn. So, if you was born in the early 2000s, in the 90s, this player that I'm going to talk about, El Imperatore to Brazilians, the Emperor to the English, Adriano. For me, one of the best strikers to play the game. I know he had a short career, but if you really watched Inter Milan back in the early 2000s, this guy was absolutely ridiculous. He was a joke, you know. For me, the best ever striker in the world is R9, Ronaldo, and I believe if this guy had the longevity in the career, and when I mean longevity, I mean if he would have played on for an extra 5 years and didn't go to other clubs as he was on the way down on decline due to certain things that happened to him, I believe this guy would have rivaled R9 for the best striker to play the game. He was that good, you know. But yeah, I'll touch on that in a bit. So just how good was Adriano? We're going to talk about, and what happened. So what was the fall of Adriano as to why his career didn't go the way it should have done. Okay, so I'm going to touch on a couple of things before we start. So top goal scorer. So I believe that was at Inter Milan. He top scored in Serie A for 3 seasons. He won 1 Copa America for Brazil, 4 Serie A titles. I believe all 4 of them were for Inter. And he won 2 Italian Cups and 3 Italian Super Cups. His Brazil record was 48 caps, 27 goals. So almost 1 in 2, you'd say. So Adriano started his career at Flamengo, made his debut against Sao Paulo, scored in his debut. And then in 2001 was signed by Inter Milan for a measly 13 million. If you would have saw the quality of this player, you'd be thinking 13 million for a player of that quality is a steal. And I remember when he went to Inter Milan, this is when co-ownership was involved. I think co-ownership is a thing that's stopped now. But he was co-owned by both Fiorentina and Parma, which is where he made his name, playing up front for Parma with a certain Adrian Mutu, forming a deadly partnership. But when he returned back to Inter, this is where he kind of showed the kind of play that he had. I mean, I think he was 6'2". He was quick. He was strong. He was skillful. His technique was ridiculous. His shot power was silly. And I think the added incentive, he was left-footed as well, which is to have someone of that build and those qualities is quite rare, you know. Yeah, he was. He had everything in his locker, and I think as well, a certain Ivan Cordoba, who was his teammate at the time, Colombian, said he had the potential to be the best striker to play the game. He said he was a mix between R9 and Ibrahimovic. And funny enough, this is when he made his name, when he played with Ibrahimovic for Inter Milan. Those two formed a devastating partnership. If you're roughly around the same age as I am, then you would have played ISS International Superstar Soccer Pro. And when you was Inter Milan, you would have had Adriano and Ibrahimovic up top together. Now, let me tell you now, those two were illegal in the game. They were illegal in the sense of they were both the same player, just one was left-footed, one was right-footed. You know, I remember playing a game when you get them in a certain position, both of them, if you shoot at the right angle with the right power, it goes in every time. And they both were strong, both had pace, both had the best shot power in the game. So Adriano was a freak, man. I think in that season as well, where he formed that devastating partnership with Ibrahimovic, I believe he scored, I think he might have been 42 or 49 goals in all competitions, which earned him a sixth-place finish in the FIFA Ballon d'Or rankings. But yeah, this Adriano was special. You know, it's a shame what actually happened. So the fall of him was obviously when his father passed away, and when his father did pass away, he was still playing for Inter Milan, and obviously such as the togetherness that the squad had, they kind of rallied around Adriano, and just tried to make him concentrate on his football, which was kind of tough. But I think due to the connection he had with his father, he was always gonna tail off, it seems, and it was a shame because, as I said to you before, I believe this guy could have gone down as good as R9. He was that good, you know. There was no flaws in his game. You know, he could do everything. But I think he turned to drugs and to drink. There was even links with the Brazilian mafia out in the favelas, from something that I read from before. So, but yeah, he was special, man. He's a special player. And obviously, I have an affinity to him as well because he was left-footed, just like myself. He was a great player. So, and it's a shame, really. And this is what I mean with today's football. You don't get players like that no more, unfortunately. I think you would possibly say the closest player, and this just shows you the state of football. The closest player to him is probably someone like a Romelu Lukaku, and Lukaku as a footballer was nowhere near or is nowhere near Adriano's ability. You know, obviously Lukaku is left-footed. He has got pace. He is strong. But as I said, Adriano had everything. You know, he had an eye for a goal. He could take a free kick. Good penalty taker. Technical, shoot from range. Good finisher. Obviously, variety of finishes, which is what makes a good finisher. Strong. Yeah, he was unplayable at times. And yeah, I say to you, when I used to play Football Manager as well, I used to always be Man United, and I would sign Adriano straight away, give him that number 10 shirt, just play him up top. And for me, he was the one that, in terms of the goals, like he was hitting 40 plus goals easy a season, 40 plus goals at that time easily. Obviously, the way football's gone now, obviously 40 goals is just standard. But I would say the quality of defenders that were back when he was playing was a lot better in comparison to what it is now. But yeah, Adriano was, he was ridiculous, man. He was so good. So it's a shame that you don't really see too many players like that now. But as I said, if you're from my era of the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, you would have seen how good this guy was. So that's just my short little stream on Adriano. I'd advise people, if you get a chance to, watch some YouTube compilations of Adriano just to see the quality that he had. But the man known as the Emperor or Imperatore in Brazil. I think we should celebrate players like this. A once in a million talent that I believe you ain't going to see again. So that was my stream. Hope you guys like the stream. Don't forget to smash the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel at GavGoesIn. If you have any comments to put in as well, feel free to drop your comments in. If you feel that there was a player that you believe was better than Adriano, or at the moment now feel that he could be on his level, then feel free to drop your comments in, and then we can discuss that. Otherwise, we'll be back on Monday reacting to the Man United versus Aston Villa game. Back at 1 o'clock. And also I'm going to touch on Man United's summer targets. So yeah, be sure to tune in then. And I'll catch you guys on Monday. Take it easy.